Chapter 3. Good evening, ladies! Gabriel greets us with a smile as he casually leans against his black BMW convertible. He's rocking navy blue swimsuit trunks and a white shirt that he didn't bother to button all the way up. My heart skips a beat as my eyes blatantly stop on the uncovered part of his hard chest. My fingers itch to touch his skin to confirm its softness. His outfit works to his advantage, highlighting his muscles while daring me to slide my hand underneath the fabric for a thorough inspection. I whimper as a sharp pain stabs me underneath my ribs, and I give Aishling a dirty look. "You're drooling," she comments, then goes to the car, leaving me behind to massage my bruised ribs. After giving Gabriel a hug, Nellie twirls around to show off her short summer dress with flower patterns. "How do I look?" "Max is going to flip when he sees you," Gabriel says with a smile of approval. Aishling's already in the back seat of the car, her eyes puffy from crying. The bonfire, loud music, and endless flow of alcohol will help her banish the bastard out of her mind. Nellie promised to help me take care of her, and together, we'll make sure that Jake becomes a distant memory. Gabriel's gaze locks on mine, and I realize that I'm the last one standing. He tears his blue eyes away from me, lazily dragging them lower past my short summer top, momentarily pausing on my belly piercing, before continuing past my shorts and all the way down, taking in my long legs. The caress of his look lights the fire inside me that not only warms my cheeks, which I'm grateful can't be seen in the dim light, but also causes the tingling between my legs that makes my knees wobbly. I force myself to stand still, not wanting to give him any indication of just how affected I am. "We're matching," he says, his lips curling up in a small smile. My brows furrow, and I tilt my head to the side in question. "Our outfits," he explains, pointing from his clothes to mine. "We're both white and blue." "Oh, right, that," I say, and smile to cover my awkwardness. "Completely different shades, but yeah, sure." Gabriel doesn't notice the sarcasm and gives me an enthusiastic thumbs up. It doesn't matter because it's not his brain I'm attracted to. I turn my back against the car and bat my lashes at him. "A little help?" Gabriel grins and puts his hands on my hips. Our gazes lock for the shortest of moments before he applies enough pressure to lift me up. I swallow the sounds that bubble up in my throat and suppress the dirty thoughts my mind manages to come up with in record time. I'm careful not to scratch his car with my heels as he helps me in. The burning spot where his hands were is replaced by a chilly emptiness. I'm looking for an excuse to get him to touch me again, but I'm too slow and he's already in the driver's seat, facing the three of us. "First things first," he starts, his brows furrowing in an extremely cute way as he tries to be serious. "You don't have your phones on you, right?" Aishling and Nellie shake their heads. "I don't understand why I can't take pictures," I complain. "If this party's going to be as lit as you all say, I'd like to remember it at least in some way, because I plan on drinking myself into a black hole." Gabriel gives me a sympathetic smile. "That's exactly why. The party's on a private beach, and it's invite only. People will let loose, so it's vital that there's no evidence of it." Wait, I say quickly, and lift my hand up in a stop gesture. I tilt my head to the side, looking from him to Nellie, and then back. "We're not going to do anything illegal, right?" "No, sweetie," Nellie assures me. "Imagine this. You've been drinking, and in your drunken state, you end up making out with a guy. Someone takes a photo and threatens to sell it to the tabloids. My mouth forms an O. "That's exactly what we're trying to avoid," Gabriel confirms. "My dad would kill me if that happened," Aishling agrees, her eyes wide just at the thought of it. "Okay, so no phones, right?" Gabriel asks again. "No phones," Nellie assures him. She took ours away shortly before he arrived. When we reach Max's mansion, I'm plagued with the same question again. Who are these people? I figure that Nellie and Gabriel's money is from their family businesses, but Max's wealth has a different feel to it. He comes from old money. Nellie approaches the door twice her size. The echoes of the bell shake the walls with such force that even a blind person wouldn't be able to ignore it. She shifts from one foot to the other, waiting for her boyfriend to open the door. When nothing happens, she walks up to the nearest window for a closer look. How long do you think it takes to walk from one end of the house to the other? I ask, failing to disguise my awe with a joke. That's weird, Gabriel mutters, ignoring my question. Aishling moves to the middle seat and leans forward. What's weird? Someone should open the door by now, Gabriel replies, his eyes on Nellie. Something's wrong. The words barely leave his mouth when Nellie screams, the sound high-pitched and full of horror. Gabriel's the first one out of the car, crossing the distance with swift steps. What's wrong? He asks, pushing past Nellie to look through the window. Tears run down her face, and her breathing turns into uncontrollable sobs. Her mouth opens and closes, but no words come out. She's white as a ghost, and I reach for her elbow to keep her steady in case she faints. Her whole body's trembling, and she keeps on shaking her head. Fuck, Gabriel curses, already moving to the front door. Aishling helps me with Nellie, supporting her other side. Our wide eyes are locked on Gabriel as he tries to open the front door. When it doesn't budge, he frantically runs into it with the full force of his body. I hold my breath, waiting for him to get us in, although I'm not sure I want to see what got Nellie to scream. There's something horrible inside. Aishling and I shouldn't be here. This isn't our nightmare. Before I can figure out what to do, the sharp sound of breaking glass makes me jump. Gabriel moves past me, and I realize that without knowing, Aishling and I have let go of Nellie. With unspeakable urgency, Gabriel takes the rock from Nellie's hand to finish what she started. Wait here, he orders, and propels himself on the ledge. I grab Nellie's arm to pull her away from the broken glass. She resists for a moment and only relaxes when Gabriel's inside. Aishling gestures for us to hurry up to the front door when Gabriel takes off the chain from the inside. Nellie rushes forward, pushing past all of us to get in, but Gabriel steps in her way at the last moment, blocking her from entering. What are you doing? She demands in disbelief. Nellie, he says softly, trying to get her attention when she doesn't stop pushing against him. He doesn't budge and puts his hands on her arms, forcing her to look her in the eyes. Get out of my way, Gabe, she hisses, with a voice I haven't heard her use before, but would definitely get even the drunkest of the Garcia's B&B guests to stand in attention. Gabriel recognizes the tone and silently moves to the side. Nellie disappears into the house one moment, and the next she's screaming again. A flicker of pain flashes in Gabriel's eyes, but it's gone when he runs after her. Aishling and I exchange a bewildered look. I take her hand in mine, holding it tight. Whatever's inside, we'll face it together. Before we can talk ourselves out of it, we're through the front door. The clothes are sticky and the air heavy. It's getting hard to breathe. My feet move with exaggerated slowness, having to force them with every step. Still holding my arm, Aishling lets me take the lead. At first glance, the house is like any other. Subtle, wealthy decorations further indicate the old money origins. Paintings on the wall, but no gold frames. Artistic sculptures on the tables, but no tacky sex symbols. The normality gives me the courage to go further. We follow the dark hallway. It takes my eyes a moment to adjust. I hear it before I see it. Soft crunching beneath my feet. Broken glass. Is that blood? Aishling asks, noticing it first. I swallow the bile rising in my throat. My face tenses, and I clench my jaw until my teeth hurt. I don't want to look. There's more, Aishling says, pointing ahead. Reluctantly, my eyes follow her finger. That's a lot, I say, dreading to think what that means. It's as if someone has dragged a body from the room. Aishling says exactly what I tried to avoid. Nellie and Gabriel are in that room. Whatever's in there made her scream. I don't want to go. I don't want to see. I don't have a choice. I go. With a step to the side, I avoid the blood, but the broken glass is all over the place. Ignoring the crunching sounds, I move toward the room. My heart bangs against my chest, pumping blood through my veins. The high-pitched noise in my ears takes over all the other sounds, turning me deaf. My breathing comes in fast and shallow bursts. I'm blinking rapidly to prevent my vision from blurring. Aishling tightens her grip on my hand. I focus on its stickiness and remind myself to take a deep breath. The metallic smell of blood teases my nostrils. I gulp down the excess saliva, hoping to settle my stomach. Being sick is the last thing I want to do right now, but I'm afraid it's a real possibility. I don't want to go into the room, but I have to. Aishling and I turn the corner. My tunnel vision focuses on Gabriel. He's kneeling behind the sofa, looking at the carpet on the floor. A whimper comes from the corner where Nellie's sitting on the floor, hugging her knees to her chest. Tears fall freely down her face, her eyes staring blankly in Gabriel's direction. She's in shock. I still don't want to see. But I have to. Aishling pulls on my arm and shakes her head at me. Her eyes silently plead with me to leave. I give her an apologetic look, then gently pull my arm from her grip. I won't force her to look. Gabriel's big frame prevents me from seeing the carpet. Every muscle in his body is tense, and his back is rigid. I lift my arm to reach for him. I hesitate. There's still time to turn around, to leave it all behind. Gabriel abruptly stands up, taking the decision away from me. I have a clear view of what he was looking at. A kitchen knife covered with blood. Reflexively, I reach for it to pick it up. Gabriel grabs my wrist before I can touch it. I furrow my brows at him, grasping at the feeling of annoyance. It's better than fear. Are you fucking crazy? He asks, and even though the words sound harsh, his tone isn't. We've already tampered enough with the crime scene. Nellie sobs when he says crime scene. We should call the police, I say with a low but sure voice. I've seen enough movies to know how to proceed. We can't, Gabriel replies, and runs his fingers through his hair, brushing them off his forehead. Someone has to drive to the station and tell them what happened. That's a waste of time, I complain. We have to call them now. Go ahead, do it, Gabriel says dryly. It's then that it hits me. Nellie took my phone. What about the house? Don't they have a phone? Aishling asks, her arms around Nellie. No one uses the landlines anymore, Gabriel replies, joining them in the corner. He gently touches Nellie's cheek and speaks with a soft tone as if talking to a cornered animal. We're all going to the station and tell the sheriff what we've seen. The sooner we do it, the sooner we'll find out what happened. It's Max's, isn't it? Nellie asks, her eyes on the bloody knife. I'm sure this is just a misunderstanding that has a simple explanation, Gabriel assures her. I'm willing to bet my car that we'll laugh about all this tomorrow. I wouldn't do that if I were you, I warn him, throwing a glance around the room. It's clear what happened. Broken furniture, broken glass, torn pillows, a trail of blood, and a knife covered with blood. You don't need to be a genius to connect these dots. This is a classic example of Occam's razor, where the simplest explanation is probably the "We don't know what happened," Gabriel interrupts, shooting me an angry look. My eyes widen when I realize that I've been babbling again and making things worse. Right? I agree lamely, sounding fake even to my own ears. It's too soon to be making conclusions. Gabriel ignores the speed limit to get us to the police station. The whole time I can't help but think that we shouldn't have stopped in this fucking town. If I hadn't pushed Aishling to live a little, we wouldn't have landed in the middle of a classic horror movie. Signs of struggle. Liters of blood. No body. What the fuck's going on? As if that's not enough to deal with, I've failed as a best friend. Aishling's been dumped, and instead of focusing on her, I wanted to go to the bonfire with Gabriel. Hose over bros my ass. I'm the fucking worst. Sheriff Campbell, Gabriel calls when he pushes the door open. Whoa, relax, young man. Gabriel looks at the cop behind the desk. Where's the sheriff? I need to speak to him, now. What's this about? The cop asks, ignoring the urgency in Gabriel's voice. Call the sheriff now, or I'll make sure you get fired, and no one ever hires your stupid ass ever again, Nellie says with a menacing tone. Whatever the cop sees in her brown eyes gets him to pick up the phone to call the sheriff. After the longest 5 minutes, an older-looking gentleman enters the reception. He pulls up his heavy tool belt, but it doesn't budge over his big belly. What's the meaning of this? He asks with a booming voice that's out of contrast with the silly way he looks when he twirls the corners of his white mustache around his finger instead. Gabriel steps forward. You need to come with us, Sheriff. Someone has broken into Max's house and left behind a trail of blood. Sheriff Campbell's brows shoot up in surprise. He stops twirling his mustache and looks at the cop behind the desk. Send someone to the house while I talk to our young friends here. Right away, Sheriff, We should all go, Nellie insists. Gabriel puts his arm around her shoulder, pulling her closer to him in a protective embrace. No one's going anywhere, Sheriff Campbell says firmly, his brows furrowing as he looks from Gabriel and Nellie to Aishling and me. Who the hell are you? Claire Bryant and Aishling Aferna, I tell him. Our car broke down and we've sort of stuck here. Ah, I see what's going on here, Sheriff muses, narrowing his eyes at Gabriel. You thought you could have some fun by scaring off your new lady friends. Let me guess, you plan on being the hero. Is that right? You're wrong, Gabriel argues. Max is in trouble and we need your help. Don't you think that he's been through enough already? The last thing he needs right now is you two pulling pranks, Sheriff Campbell says, his eyes darting from Gabriel to Nellie. I'd expect this from Mr. Russo, but I'm very disappointed by you, Miss Garcia. Nellie flinches at his words, but shakes it off and defiantly lifts her chin. It's not a prank. Max has been hurt. I suppose we'll find out soon enough, Sheriff Campbell replies and moves to the side, gesturing down the hall. Until then, let's step into my office. Aishling and I exchange a look, silently sharing our distress over being involved in the town's drama. We have enough of our own problems and don't need to be pulled into their mess. I'm tempted to grab her hand and run out of the station, leaving Gabriel and Nellie behind. I'd do it too if Sheriff Campbell wasn't watching us like a hawk, leaving us with no other choice but to go to his office. His radio crackles with the incoming message. I don't see anything out of the ordinary, Sheriff. It's inside the house, Gabriel urges. Tell him to go in. Go inside, Deputy, Sheriff orders into the radio, keeping his calculating eyes on us. The door's locked, Deputy reports. That's impossible, Gabriel says, pulling trembling Nellie closer to him. We've left it open. Check the windows, Sheriff says to Deputy. They seem okay, Deputy says, then adds, Wait a second. I hold my breath, afraid that I won't hear his next words if I breathe too loudly. Sheriff's face is a mask, his eyes narrowed to thin slits. The window on the right is broken, Deputy reports. Should I climb in and check the perimeter? Did you break the window? Sheriff asks us. I did, Nellie confirms. Can you see the blood? Gabriel asks. It leads to the room down the hall. Sheriff? Deputy's voice crackles through. Should I go in? Affirmative, Sheriff replies. The room's thick with tension as we anxiously wait for the update. Aishling and I exchange nervous glances. Gabriel's fingers drum restlessly on Sheriff's desk, while Nellie focuses on taking deep breaths in an effort to keep herself from sobbing. Everyone's nerves are frayed. The air's heavy with anticipation, each passing moment feeling like an eternity. Sheriff's the only one who seems somewhat relaxed, although his twitching mustache betrays him. Sheriff! Deputy's voice abruptly crackles through, making everyone jump. What is it? Sheriff asks with a tight voice. What exactly am I looking for? Deputy asks. Besides the broken window, I can't see anything wrong. The house is clear. Before any of us can react, Sheriff jumps forward and grabs Gabriel by the collar of his shirt. He lifts him up in the air and slams his body against the wall in an unexpected show of strength. I cry out in alarm and cower in the corner with Aishling. What are you playing at, boy? Sheriff asks in a menacing tone. Nothing, Gabriel forces out, his face turning red. I promise. He's not lying, Nellie insists, and grabs Sheriff's arms to pull him away from Gabriel. Let him go. Stay out of it, Sheriff bellows angrily. Please, Nellie pleads. You know me. I wouldn't do anything to hurt Max. He's been through enough already. That's exactly my point, Sheriff says through gritted teeth, but loosens his grip on Gabriel. I'll give you one more opportunity to tell me what you saw, but this time, I want to hear the truth. Nellie tells him our plan to pick up Max for the bonfire and points out that he hasn't been answering his phone. She guides the sheriff step by step through our breaking and entering. Her voice falters when she describes the horrible scene we've witnessed. Gabriel, Aishling, and I remain huddled up in the corner. We're careful not to test whatever little patience the sheriff has left. Deputy? Sheriff says into the radio when Nellie finishes. Yes, Sheriff? Have you seen broken glass in the hallway? I strain my ears and bite my lower lip. Negative! Sheriff gives us a stern look, Broken furniture? I hold my breath until the answer comes. Negative. Knife? I wipe the sweat off my hands against my clothes. No, sir. Sheriff's eyes narrow and he clenches his jaw. What about blood? My heart's banging against my chest in anticipation. There was too much blood for him not to see. Nothing, Deputy replies with a hint of annoyance. As I said, Sheriff, the house is clear. No, I breathe, unable to believe my own ears. Aishling's trembling hand finds mine. I tighten the grip, grateful for her presence. Thank you, Deputy, Sheriff says. That will be all. Nellie shakes her head in disbelief. Gabriel walks up behind her, offering her his support. I don't know what you were trying to prove, but you should be ashamed of yourself, Sheriff says, his voice growing louder with every word. Now get the hell out of here before I throw you in a cell for the night. Confused and frightened, we leave the station. Shocked, we wordlessly sit in the car, reflecting on what the fuck happened. Are we crazy? Did we hallucinate the whole thing? Aishling and I only met them a few hours ago. Maybe Sheriff's right, and all that was one of Gabriel's pranks. This better not be a joke, I warn our new friends. It's not, Gabriel assures me. His previous confidence is replaced with fear. Max is gone and we can't prove it, Nellie cries out. She desperately tugs on Gabriel's arm, asking the question that's on everyone's mind. What are we going to do?